I'm speaking to someone who has been putting a lot of focus and intention on figuring out what their next reality looks like. I feel like you've been through a season of reorganization, a lot of change, a lot of up and down, maybe some confusion, kind of feeling internally or mentally disrupted a little bit, and things aren't as they were. And so you've really been figuring out what is next for me. If that resonates with you, then this video is for you. Kind of like this energy of you've been trying to move too quickly. In the past, if things have been slow or delayed, you're like, right, what can I do? I need to fill the space. I need to fill the gap. And I'm laughing because a part of you has come to this realization, or you're in the process of realizing that actually slowing down, being intentional, really practicing discernment, having good judgment over your next choices, your next decisions, is actually exactly what's going to lead you to where you want to go. And I feel like some of you would have had this experience of thinking that you're choosing X and then it ends up being Y, and Y is so much better. Or you've made a specific decision and you think it's going to work out in a certain way, and then it actually works out so much better than what you thought, and you're almost laughing. I feel like some of you would have been experiencing some unexpected miracles, some unexpected synchronicities, gifts, alignment, opportunities, and I feel like you're almost giggling to yourself of, I couldn't even pre-anticipate where that was going to come from. So for those of you listening, this is really about your direction. For some of you, it'll be career, success. I feel like you're stepping into a season of more joy. I feel like you're following your joy and you're realizing that actually what freedom is joy. What personal fulfillment is joy. And that's it. And you're kind of coming to this realization of, I was chasing this and I was chasing money and I was chasing status and I was chasing all these different things, when actually all it is me choosing what fills me up, me choosing what makes me feel truly alive in each and every moment. And it's kind of like this returning to the simplicity. I feel like those watching have maybe made things more complicated in the past, made things more complex, and now you're entering this season of, it's so much more simple than what I thought it had to be. It feels like there's this leaning back energy. It feels like you might have been someone who was pushing really hard, hustling, trying to force results. And now you're leaning back and saying, it's actually simpler than what I thought it was going to be. And I'm realizing that it's an inside out mechanism. It's an inside out job. It's not what can I get out there to make me feel better in here. It's what brings me joy in here and how can I express that outward? How can I pull on that thread? I kind of see that some of you have been getting little inklings or ideas. I'm seeing a light bulb. You've had these realizations, you've had these light bulbs going off. For some of you, it will be ideas. For others of you, it might be insights, perspectives, awareness of, wow, I didn't realize that that was a pattern I was running, or I didn't realize that I was moving in that way, or I've just had this massive realization about how I show up in relationships. And you know, certain like realizations. I feel like realizations, perspective, awareness is a really big thing for you guys. I feel like authenticity is a really big thing for you guys, as it is for the collective right now. We're going through this massive shift of power going from being centralized to organizations and institutions and authority figures to now becoming decentralized, meaning that each and every one of us are really awakening to our own sense of personal power and personal sovereignty. And it's completely transforming how society operates. It's going to completely transform humanity. But I feel like for you, you're thinking about things in a better way. Maybe before you were quite impulsive on certain decisions or directions, whereas now you're taking it in and you're like, I'm not just going to jump on every idea at once. I'm not just going to jump on every opportunity at once. I'm thinking about this because I have the power to choose. But more than that, you feel that you don't have to grab opportunity because you feel in lack. Like you've moved out of a lack mindset. That's what I'm feeling. And previously, as soon as an opportunity came in, or a collaboration came in, or an idea came in, or a relationship came in, it's kind of like you wanted to grab it because you were moving unknowingly from this place of lack. So as soon as it came in, you wanted to take it in. Whereas now you're like, I'm not in lack. Lack does not exist. Lack is an illusion. Everything is possible for me. And what's true for me will always be mine. I'm seeing this, I'm I'm seeing this boat in the water, this kind of sailboat, but almost the message that's coming through from it is nothing will pass you by that isn't meant for you. Like if you're meant to be on the boat, you'll be on the boat. If the boat is meant to come in, it will come in. I'm not sure why that specific visual is coming through. Maybe some of you love to be on the water, some of you love boating, or maybe this is super metaphoric of nothing that is meant for you will pass you. And I feel like whoever's watching has really come to that realization now. So I feel like in the past you've been trying to move too quickly, and now you're realizing that actually slowing down, being intentional, being specific, using discernment, that is where the power lies. That is where your future is created. Because in the past, you were so obsessed with wanting to create success that you would move so fast that you would miss the right thing. And even if the right thing was right there in front of you, you wouldn't be able to see it because you were so distracted with, I need to do this, and I need to do this, and I need to do this. And I really feel like there's this playfulness that's coming through. There's this joy that's coming through with realizing that it gets to take time, and that's okay. I feel like you guys have accessed a new level of joy that you didn't have previously. You're taking more time for yourself. I feel like some of you will be spending time in nature. Nature feels very important. I keep seeing the sky and I keep seeing birds. Maybe you're looking up at the sky now. Maybe you're taking time to smell the roses, as they say. You're actually taking time to see the bigger picture. You're taking time to see it from a different perspective. I just feel like there's this real big energy of just slowness is safe, whereas before it didn't feel safe. But what's really important for this next step in your reality is to know that you're still in this state of being a little bit disrupted. I feel like there's this joy, but I feel like there's still a little bit of this, I'm not 100% sure on what's next or what's coming. And I want you to know that that is okay. The disruption is actually necessary in order for you to move from confusion to clarity, from contrast to excitement. So just understand that is all happening for a reason, that is okay. And also that I feel like there's this mental upgrade happening. The way you see life is completely different. I'm really being drawn to your perspective has completely expanded. Whoever's listening to this, I feel like you might have been reading some personal development books, listening to podcasts. I feel like you might be interested in different types of YouTube videos, people talking about manifestation and personal growth in a way that doesn't feel like you're trying to fix yourself, but in a way that you're really realizing the infinite potential that's available to you. I feel like some of you might have been getting into meditation. Some of you might be building something new. I'm seeing these bricks come brick by brick. So whether some of you are actually building something physically, like a physical home, that's come through in quite a few readings recently. Or maybe for some of you, this is metaphoric. You're actually building yourself back together piece by piece, and you're doing it intentionally. You're really questioning, is this right for me? Does this make me feel fully alive? Because I feel like there's this energy of, if anything doesn't make me feel joy, I'm just not doing it. I'm not wasting my time anymore. I've done that, been there, done that. That is not what life is about. I feel like there's just maybe some of you have been through a spiritual awakening, some sort of conscious awakening, activation, kundalini stirring, whether some of you have actually been to a healing session. I'm seeing some of you actually go through physical healing, going to see a healer, being in a healing space. I'm seeing some of you going to groups, which could be yoga, meditation, like I said, healing, circles, things like that. For some of you, it might just be unknowingly your kundalini is awakening. You're being reconnected to the joy of life, the sensuality of life, the creativity of life. You're not feeling so unsafe or insecure in who you are. You're starting to find safety in exactly who you are as you are, rather than always feeling like you need to be someone else in order to be respected, in order to be understood, in order to be seen, in order to be heard. It's like you're just coming back to, I am who I am, and that's it. It's that simple. This is really good. It feels really good. And I feel like you're awakening to new inspiration because of this. A lot of you watching are going to be inspired by things that you see. I see you walking along and just being like, oh, that feels inspiring and that feels inspiring. And your mind is going through this massive shift. But I feel like perspective, I keep being drawn back to the word perspective. You've changed how you see things. And that's completely changed your world. And it hasn't come into manifestation yet. It hasn't come into materialization or actualization, but it's on its way to you. People are taking action towards you. Opportunity is taking action towards you. It's moving towards you, because what you've done is you felt like you were always the one that needed to make things happen. So you were you had this forcefulness over opportunity, over life. And now you're exhaling back and you're allowing life to meet you halfway. You're in a relationship with life in a completely different way, and you're enjoying it. You're feeling like, I cannot believe that I didn't do this sooner. I need to tell people about this. Let me tell my friends. Let me tell my family. And some of your loved ones aren't going to understand, but you don't need them to. That's okay. In the past, you wanted to be understood. You wanted to share that you were doing this, or you had this realization, and you wanted people to be on the same page, but now that doesn't matter to you. Now you understand that you're going through your own personal journey. I feel like some of you might be going through a revelation in your current relationship, intimate partnership, or you might be meeting someone new. There feels like there's this new partnership, whether it's like a revival of a current partnership, or for some of you, you're calling in someone new, and it feels adventurous. It feels fun. It feels like you're no longer as rigid in how you think things need to be in a relationship. And so you're open to the adventure of how life wants to package this relationship to you. But I feel like this person is going to spark something in you, or is going to honor the spark that has already been ignited. There is this big theme of adventure, this big theme of let's go explore life. I'm no longer being so serious about life. I'm no longer being so, I have to check the boxes. And I'm actually seeing that life has so much more to offer than I previously thought. And I'm going to open up to that. And I'm going to open up to the variety. I keep hearing variety. It's almost like you're going to explore new things. And it's kind of like you want to try a little bit of this and a little bit of that. I feel like there's a song in there somewhere. A little bit of this and a little bit of that. I don't know. But I feel like you're going to be trying different things, not from a place of, I need to find what sticks, but from a place of, I can just do it all because I choose to. I can have it all because I choose to. I don't need to choose something and then stick with that for the next 10 years because that gives me that sense of false security and safety in who I am. No, I'm safe because I exist and I'm alive and breathing. I'm safe because I choose. I have the power to choose what I want to experience in my life. And that is where my fulfillment lies. You're no longer thinking so serious about trying to get the right thing. And you've really moved out of this black and white thinking and way of seeing the world to now seeing it in color. The multitude of life, the multifaceted of life. And I feel like some of you might be traveling. Some of you might be wanting to travel. I feel like you're packing up your bags, you're going somewhere. For some of you, this feels like a one-way trip. It feels like I'm just going to take a one-way ticket and see what happens, go on adventure with life and see what expands. And again, it's like mental expansion. You're going through mental expansion. You see people in a different way. You're not as serious in your relationships. You see life in a different way. You've just had this complete reorganization of your mental frame of the world and what it means to live. For some of you, you might have been so immersed in work that you forgot to live. And your work and your life were kind of two separate things. Whereas now, for some of you, you're coming into this place of work and life is the same. And it's important for me to do something meaningful in my life, in my work moving forward, because that is my life and I want it all to coexist as one thing. For some of you, you might have just left a long-term job. Maybe you've taken a year off. You're just traveling. It feels like for some of you, you're just like, let's go. I'm like done with work for a while. I'm just parking that stage for a while of my life. And I'm going to go and explore and I'm going to backpack, or I'm going to take a year off and I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go do that. And it feels like you're going to be meeting new people as you go through that process. You're going to be building a new soul tribe. You're going to be connecting with different people. And it does feel like there is this spiritual thread throughout all of this, no matter what your specific situation is watching this video. It feels like you've awakened to a different level of spiritual connection. For some of you, this might be more traditional relationship with God, with spirituality. Maybe some of you are going to church. For others of you, it's almost like this complete shattering of any of that, of any organized connection with God. And it's just, my heart is open. Like you've connected with your heart, and your heart is bringing you closer to spirit. There's a big connection here with your heart and your throat. I feel like before maybe you were disconnected. You said things that you didn't mean, and then you regretted it. Maybe you said things that were quite nasty and then felt guilty about it. Or maybe you just said things that weren't centered in how you actually felt. You just said it because you thought that that's what people wanted to hear. And now you're like, I get to be in coherence. I get to say what I mean, say what I think, and people take it or leave it. Your heart and your throat is opening, and it's kind of creating this really beautiful flow between how you see the world mentally, how you experience the world mentally, and also how you feel about it emotionally, how you feel about it in your body from your heart. I'm seeing that some of you might be reconnecting with past relationships. Some of you might be mending relationships with past family members where there was this disconnect. Maybe you haven't spoken to them in a while and you're actually reconnecting with them. What's really interesting about this reading and message is that there has been this slowness. For some of you, it's been a complete stop in your career or something you've been doing, and then you're completely catapulting into something new. For others of you, it's kind of been this slowness and this transformation period, but you're still stepping into a new reality. There is still something new that you're stepping into, but you've just experienced it in slightly different ways. For some of you, it's been this abrupt, that's it, I'm moving on to something different. And for some of you, it's been like, I can feel that there's something new coming, and I've been in this period of slowness and really reflecting on certain things in my life and really just getting super clear on my direction. There's been this season of self-discovery, of self-awareness, perspective change, opening up, and you're not the same person anymore. You're not. You are, and maybe this is why some of you are reconnecting with past loved ones that you might be a bit disconnected to or in distance with, because you're not the same person anymore. And you can see it from a different perspective. So you're like, oh, I understand why they felt that way or why they thought that way. Or I don't really care what happened in the past. I just want to move forward. So let's reconnect. Let's patch things up. It's kind of this energy of patching things up. But there is this lightness about you now. And I feel like your perspective on success has completely changed. I've got some number cards for you. So this first one, 2121. If you can see that, let me read this out for you. Energy levels: prosperity, harmony, journey, patience, discipline, focus, trust, relationships. There we go. The day you've been waiting for is on its way. Maintain your discipline as you move closer to your ultimate goal. There's no need to overextend yourself. Wow, I find this so crazy. Even though I'm so used to this, it still blows my mind every time. There's no need to overextend yourself. Guard your energy to stay focused. Your efforts will pay off. Remember, it's a climb, not an elevator ride. This is what I'm talking about, guys. This is the energy that I was getting through from the beginning, was that in the past you were trying to move too quickly and you're realizing that that's not what it's about. It gets to be a slow process because sometimes what's slow gets to be more intentional. And ironically, the more intentional you are, and the longer you take to really consciously and openly reflect on your decisions or your direction, the quicker things happen because you're not wasting your time going in the wrong direction. I feel like in the past, you might have just gone off in a direction, got distracted, shiny object syndrome, and then you've been like, oh, I'm so far off my path. How do I get back? You know how they say that if a plane is going from London to Australia, and even if it's a tiny, tiny bit off that path or off that track, it will end up somewhere completely different. Well, Australia is a big country, so you might still end up in Australia, but you get what I'm saying. Even just a tiny degree off path, if you just keep moving, and you don't stop to question, you don't stop to reflect, not from a place of beating yourself up, not from a place of coming down on yourself, but from a place of genuine curiosity, of just checking in with yourself at each checkpoint. Am I on the right path? Is there just a degree of recorrection or redirection that I can do? And so now you're realizing that there is so much power and importance It's almost like there is this vitality on really getting clear on that direction before you move, because you've got a lot of energy. You've got a lot to give. That's not the issue here. The issue is making sure you're giving it in the right place, in the right direction. I've actually got 3 numerology cards for you. So the next one here is 6666. If you can see that, the light is a little bit in the way today. Great blessings. Self-love, boundaries, needs, positivity, wisdom, understanding, letting go, expansion. Nurture yourself by honoring your needs, desires, and boundaries. Let go of what weighs you down and make space for meaningful experiences. Expand your spirit across all areas of your life. Embrace the big love, opportunities, or job that are about to enter your journey. So again, this is confirmation that there has been this pause, this delay, this slowing down, this reorganization of how you see things. You are ready to let new things in, but you need a time to reflect and really ask yourself, is this what I really want? Is this the right path for me? And then we've got 1111, wish come true. How exciting. Fortune, patience, flow, self-discovery. Look at that. Manifestation, new beginnings, initiative. A lucky break is on the way. This could manifest as joyful news, transformative experiences, new opportunities, or an exciting new relationship. You'll find yourself in the right place at the perfect time. This isn't mere coincidence. It's a gift from fate. Embrace this blessing and be open to the wonderful changes it will bring into your life. 111. 1 literally represents new beginnings. 6666. 6 represents harmony, balance, a coming togetherness. This is really powerful. It really does feel like if you were to go through this a couple of years ago, it would have given you a lot of anxiety. You would have been confused about the transformation. It's kind of like I'm seeing that you've been in this cocoon, this metamorphosis. And in the past, this would have freaked you out. It would have scared you. You would have been like, but where am I going? What am I doing? And now you're orienting from a different place. Now it's coming from a place of excitement about the opportunity, the variety, what life has to offer, the playground that life is. And in the past, it would have had a different effect. So you're in the right place at the right time. The not knowing, as in not knowing the exact experiences or the adventure ahead of you, is beautiful and it is perfect, and I want you to trust it. I want you to trust it. I want you to follow the thread of your joy. When you feel a joy to do something, go do it without question, without letting your mind or your identity interfere with the process. Follow your joy. And also know that when it comes to big life decisions, money, career, direction, what you're building, take your time to think about it and decide intentionally, because that means that you know you're going to be coming from the right place. I truly feel that even if things don't work out the way we think we want them to work out, if we don't get the outcome that we pre-anticipate we want to experience, as long as we take the time to be intentional about our decisions, we know that we've moved in integrity either way. We know that we've moved in alignment with what feels true for us, and that is the most important thing, because that is what builds self-trust. That is what means we no longer abandon ourselves to do what we think we need to do or who we think we need to be, and we come home to following our true calling, listening to the guidance, creating enough space to listen to the guidance that we are always being shown. If some of you are feeling this internal storm energy, some of you are going to be feeling like chaos, like internal chaos, like, I'm excited, but I'm also here, there, and everywhere. Things are just blah, right? There's like a lack of organization. There's a lack of structure. I want you to really practice coming home to your center. I want you to practice what I call vertical operation. So when you meditate or when you sit there, even when you're watching TV, you could literally just lay back, focus on your breath, notice how the breath moves in and out of your body, that vertical formation, and actually just come back to your, I would say, like your spinal cord. It runs directly through from your head all the way down, right? So moving vertical, coming back to your center from a very physical reference point, that's how I like to see it, is that you're returning to your spine, you're returning to your vertical mode of operation. So really just practice that. Instead of being horizontal and kind of being here, there, and everywhere, just come back to your center. It's okay that things are not feeling fully in place right now. Some of you might have some OCD or some tendencies to really want things to be in place and in order. And that is beautiful, because that's actually a highly spiritual principle, for things to be in order. But also know that it's because new stuff is wanting to come through. You've moved through this metamorphosis, and there is newness that wants to come through, newness that you can't even pre-anticipate, opportunities that you don't even know where they're going to come from, relationships that are going to be unexpected. And so be open to that chaos, because things are reorganizing without you needing to interfere, without you needing to intervene, without you needing to know the exact details, but also in amongst that chaos, you can come back to center. You can come back to the seat of your soul. You can come back to your own breath, which is your connection with spirit. The breath is what connects spirit with physical reality, or what we perceive to be physical reality. So I feel like this is exciting. I feel like whoever I'm speaking to, I feel a lot of energy sitting here speaking to you guys. So this is really exciting. So you're on the right path. You're where you're meant to be. You've been through a change. You've been through a transformation. You're redirecting. You're following your joy. You're open to adventure. You're seeing things differently. Things might feel a bit disrupted right now, but that's okay. It's all going to fall into place when it is meant to. So just be mindful and watch how your identity, your overthinking, or your analytical mind might want to interfere to try and make sense of something. Try not to make sense of it too soon. And I feel like you're learning that. You're learning that sometimes things are happening behind the scenes in favor of your growth and evolution, without you knowing exactly what it is, why it's happening, or where it's taking you. But remember that nothing that is for you will pass you. And so you can relax in that knowing and have that sense of relief. Guys, your energy is beautiful. I'm very excited for you. If you enjoyed this reading, let me know in the comments what really stood out for you, what you're going to be taking away from this. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. I really appreciate your support. It means the absolute world. I'm really enjoying jumping on here and recording these videos for you. And if you do have that gut instinct that someone is ready to hear this message, then please follow that. Send this video to them and spread the love. Thank you so much for being here, guys. Welcome to the community if you are new here, and I will see you on the next one.